Hey guys, so I wanted to share with you this article that I saw today. I kind of laughed at it. It says why we buy Apple. So as you guys know, and I think it's pretty obvious, I'm a big Apple fan. I've been using my MacBook since 2012. I purchased an iMac. I bought an iPod Touch. I bought iPhones as well. And it's one of those things where I realize not just my own consumer buying habits, but also other buying habits that when an iPhone drops or when a person needs a computer for college or work, it's like the creme de la creme tends to be Apple. Not ThinkPad, not, Asus, not, the Dell. People always think about Apple, Apple, Apple. That's just, and when you think about Starbucks too, right? What do people buy? Apple. For me, I like Apple products because it's just simple to use, it's intuitive, it's light. You guys know one of the reasons why I really like Clio is that she was a really light computer, especially during that time when I purchased her. And even though the repairs were costly, I'm gonna admit a good chunk of those was because of my dumb behavior. I spilled water on this computer. It was costly. I know water damage. I think it was like tier 3 water damage. It's like $700 for Clio if you go through Apple. And yeah, but so Apple stock is going up today. So they have a iPhone event. They're about to hold the most um, significant iPhone event in years. It has something to do with 5G. Now, I'm not a tech person at all, but when it comes to iPhone stuff, when people are upgrading their phones, typically you got the people who are Android users. I prefer using an Android phone. I've used the iPhone for whatever reason. I always keep going back to Androids. But for iPhones, I really think it's like people who get used to the iPhone setup, they become very, very loyal to it. So when their phone breaks, they think, oh, okay, I need to get another iPhone. Or if they upgraded it, they want to get another iPhone. Kind of like how I am with the MacBook. I can't imagine using any other computer except a MacBook. For sure, when Clio kicks a bucket, I will have to, I'm going to get a newer MacBook. I'm not going to get the 2020 version, 2019. I'm going to get something that's a little bit more repairable. Lewis has a MacBook buying guide. I'm really happy he came up with that YouTube video. It's very helpful. I don't think he intended for me to look at it, but I'm very appreciative of it because I know exactly what lines of or what years or what models of MacBook I should be getting. If it's easier for to repair, then that should be the computer that I should get for, right? So anyway, because Apple has a iPhone event, even though we are in the situation, guess what? Apple stock go up. Yep. So everybody is on like basically the get hype train. You guys can see how Apple is. I just added Apple to my portfolio within the last few months, if I remember correctly. I really wish that when I did do my stock portfolio, I bought it back when I saw it initially. I love my MacBook since 2012, as you guys know. I think when I first was looking into Apple, I think it was like about 175. And this was before the stock split too. So I'm like, if only I bought my Apple back then. But I can't change time. I can move forward. And yeah, my average buy price for Apple, I think it's like 108 or so. Now it's 122. So I have a nice cushion. I don't see anything happening to Apple long term. And this is the reason being, if the stock does go down, it will just be temporary. From what I have observed from other people's habits as well as my own, there is really no choice for people when they think about like phones. Like I said, they're very loyal, or computers. It's going to be really, really hard to break that habit. Even if, and this is just my opinion, even if people are on they want to be frugal in other areas. A phone is something people always use, and a computer is something that people always use as well. I use Clio every single day. I use my phone every single day. I use it multiple times a day. if it's something that people are spending so much time of their day, they want to make sure that they have something that works and they have a lot of, I know this is going to sound Marie Kondo-ish, but something that sparks joy within them. And my MacBook sparks a lot of joy for me. So I I I think that Apple's a really strong stock. I'm not surprised seeing how Apple is going, the stock. Next time they have an iPhone of it, they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, the stock's gonna go up." All they have to do is like change the design a little, add maybe a new feature in there, and the people who have to upgrade their phones every 3 years or so, I think that's when it is. I haven't, I'm not one of those people who upgrade my phone all the time, but I do know a lot of people every 3 years or whenever they have like a renew contract. You guys know what I'm talking about? They always immediately upgrade the phones. It's strange. Like I had an ex and he had an iPhone, and then as soon as he could upgrade to the newest iPhone, he did. I don't know why. He went on Instagram. He wasn't a model or anything like that, but he had a lot of joy, taking Instagram shots. And I, like, yeah, maybe, showing off a drink a little sharper is worth it for him. But from me looking from the outside in, I didn't really see why he needed $1,000 phone. But, it's something that he likes. So anyway, getting back to what I'm saying, with these kind of consumers in mind, I don't think Apple will take a hit long term at all. If the stock does drop, it's a very, very strong stock. You have people who are loyal sheep. And I say that, as someone who is very loyal to Apple as well. You guys know that. I mean, everybody knows that. And yeah, um, let's see. Yeah, if I was judged by the price, see, I don't know too much about the newer line. I had no desire to buy the new model. I think the MacBook. Is it the MacBook? The really thin one? They had like the gold one. I was telling some of you guys that when I saw the gold and black MacBook, it's thinner than Clio. I'm scared of buying it. And the reason why I'm scared of buying it is it looks so thin, knowing my clumsy, my little butterfingers over here. I'm gonna drop it and then I'm gonna break it. It doesn't look very durable to me. I don't want to have something that if I break it, it's just going to be too costly to repair, like the screen, or maybe there's a certain part that's not going to be too accessible to get. So that gold and black MacBook that I would affectionately call Cleopatra in the event I ever did get it. Yeah, I would never get Cleopatra. But I would be happy to get something that looks just like Cleo, maybe another MacBook Air. You get what I'm saying? Like something that looks identical to Cleo, because I really, really like how Cleo is. Her 13-inch screen is just perfect. 15-inch, too big. 11-inch, too small. 13-inch is the ideal size. And my fingers just feel so used to typing on a MacBook keyboard that I can't imagine just using any other keyboard. I hate using Lewis's ThinkPad. I've used his ThinkPad before, or his StinkPad as I affectionately call it. I feel like I'm going back to like 1998. It's like I look at it, I'm like, oh geez, it's durable, but it's just plastic. It's just so much plastic. It reminds me of one of those old IBM kind of computers that I've seen when I was growing up, maybe around like, you know what I'm talking about? They're very thick like this, and they're chunky, and you could find them maybe at a thrift store for $15 and nobody wants to buy them. Like that's what I think whenever I see that ThinkPad. I know there are people who are very loyal to ThinkPads, and they're like, well, it doesn't break, it's durable. You could use it as a self-defense weapon. Nah, I like something lighter. Yeah. Yeah, you really get into an ecosystem. That's the thing about MacBooks that I notice. If you have like everything connected to the iCloud, it can just seamlessly, fit together. I don't have the Apple Watch. I don't have an iPad. I don't have whatever that Apple. Do they have an Apple Home thing? I know they have like basically everything can be connected in one system, and their lineup is so extensive. But yeah, I'm not interested in that. I'm just really interested in owning a MacBook, and that's about it. Oh, the recycling thing. Apple TV, yeah. I haven't been to an Apple store in quite some time. I've seen the Apple lineup, but if I have really no use for it, I don't have any use for like the Alexa stuff, the Google Home stuff. It's kind of scary. I'm afraid that someone's gonna record it on the other hand and see what I'm talking about. You know, my sweet nothings to Oreo. Just rather not have that kind of recording stuff. So yeah, um, that's so. Getting back to what I was saying, if as much crap as people give Apple users and Apple products, it's not going to go anywhere. I also think that's one of the reasons why Lewis's business is sustainable. I can't talk about future models at all. I know things are getting less repairable. I know there's something about like some T2 chip thing. It sounds like something in the like Terminator, right? um, but has he fixed my MacBook? He did fix my MacBook. Cleo's fine. She runs a little loud. You can see I have this bad habit of like running all these tabs. But yeah, and I have to move things off to an external hard drive. I am that really typical Apple user where I I don't really like backing things up. Oh, by the way, let me show you this really quick. Look at this. Let me show you that. Do you see that? Look at that. You are the apple of my eye. Isn't that so cute? I saw that little lunch note and I had to grab it up. I was like, oh, I love that so much. Yeah, so Lewis, whenever he eats breakfast or lunch or dinner, he gets to see my little lovely sign that he is the nice apple. Yeah, so I have my Apple Note in front of my Apple computer, and I love it. What is garlic keeping it bay? ThinkPad users. Nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the keyboard is fine now. I have no problem with my keyboard. But I will readily admit that Apple parts and Apple repairs can be costly. You guys saw when the keyboard was getting fixed, I hated having to deal with all those rivets. Like that pissed me off a lot. It took me, of course, I'm not very good at repairing Apple products at all. But when I saw that, I was like, why is there so much rivets? Like, why can't I just like plug it in or something? Like just hook it up in one piece and just plop it in, and I don't know, maybe have like some hooks on the side and yeah, I'll be good, but they just make it really hard to do repairs. As a consumer, as a person, who does have multiple Apple products, I can tell you for a fact, people when they had their Apple product break, costs doesn't seem that big of an issue. Like if I like my HP for instance, my HP was a total piece of shit. I think it was a DV4T model. If you guys want to look it up, DV4T, total absolute piece of crap thing. And when I got it, I didn't know that it didn't have a SSD. So that thing was so freaking slow, and it's just having an Apple computer made me realize like, wow, this thing is just so snappy, so snappy. This computer, I've never had any issues except recently. You guys have seen it, like I'm running out of space. I've just been really lazy. I haven't been putting my stuff on an external hard drive. I have the external hard drive. It's really my fault. But when it comes to Apple users, there are more people who are like me out there. And when you are kind of like tech illiterate, it's just like, okay, you just buy something that works. It might come at a cost premium, but you save yourself a lot of headache. That HP that I had, I remember I had to do like antivirus uninstall stuff. I had to look online how to remove this like Windows, like those Windows antivirus 7 crap in there. And just remembering that I had to constantly do that, it just turned me off from PCs. I know that people will say, well, Erica, PCs aren't like that anymore. Now it's much better. You don't have to worry about viruses popping up left and right. But it's too late. I've already gotten used to using a MacBook. I've never had to run any of those, what's it called, malware whatever bytes or Avasti or something. Like I had a whole bunch that I had installed on there. But yeah, it was just a pain in the ass, and I wasted so many hours trying to remove this stuff. When I got a MacBook, it's like 100%. I didn't have to deal with that stuff at all, and it was really, really great. And I've also shared with Lewis. I said it also, when you see people who are tech savvy and they buy Apple computers, like you know who has an Apple computer? He has, I believe, an iMac of sorts, or it's Eli. You know, Eli, the computer guy, has a some sort of Apple desktop. I can't remember what the name of it is exactly, but if he has it, Eli, the computer guy, who knows way more than I do, then for the person who is not very tech savvy, you're gonna have people who say, "Well, if Eli has it, then I should get one too because he's okay with having an Apple product." Eli he has like all these networking videos, and I know for a fact he's extremely knowledgeable and computer stuff. So yeah, it's seeing that kind of stuff, knowing that people who are not sponsored by Apple still buy Apple products. It's although Lewis likes to give a lot of crap to Apple users sometimes, and he says, Apple he thinks like a lot of Apple users, they could just buy, something like a stink pad instead, or, a cheaper PC. The thing is that I don't think he's ever been on that side of using an Apple product and then realizing how smooth it is, or, how simple to use it is. And it's lighter, and it has that like reassurance that if anything breaks, you can bring it to a place. And they might charge you, a lot of money, but you can also bring it to another place. You could bring it to his store, sendyourmacbook.com, or mail it over there, or bring it to a local repair shop instead. Yeah, so I take Lewis's criticism of Apple users with truly a grain of salt. Truly a grain of salt. He is so used to using a ThinkPad, and I get it. He's used to using a ThinkPad. It works for him, for me, and other people who do support Apple products. This MacBook works for. Um, and also, he has employees who do use Apple products. I'm not going to be naming their names, but there are certain people who do use Apple products that work in his store. Even though they fix it, daily, or they take in customer repairs for them, Apple products work. And that's totally fine. Oh, my OSX is like 10.9.5 or something like that. It's super old. I hate the track point. I hate the red nipple, Joseph. I don't understand the whole appeal behind it. You got this like thing that you kind of fiddle faddle with. I'm like, what the f is that? Just use your trackpad or something, Use your thumb. You don't have to just like like that. It's just strange. Strange. I've tried to use that track point. I don't like it. And there's a reason why. I mean, like, okay, let me put it this way. If Apple decided to make one, I'm sure people will say it's revolutionary and it's the best little gadget ever. And yeah, but the ThinkPad, there's just nothing aesthetic about it. I was telling Lois, like, yeah, if he left his ThinkPad out, I think someone will look at it and be like, man, geez, that's kind of an old computer. Like I said, like when I look at a ThinkPad, it's just so plasticky, it's so heavy. I don't imagine anybody will want to take it. They'd be like, man, some grandpa left his computer away. It's like my family member who left their basic flip phone. The flip phone, the clamshell phones inside of the shopping cart. Like nobody would take that phone. They'd be like, "Oh my goodness, I gotta return it back to the store." Dora. I'm not gonna say what Dora's comment is, but Dora, that is funny. Hey, so guess what Dora said? Dora said that the track point is a training device for men. Ah,
That's one way to put it.
yeah, well, I just
Never
yeah.
been into that, honestly.
What? You love your track point.
Track point, not like the female track point.
What? Oh, jeez. Yeah, you spend too much time with your stink pad. Go back to your stink pad.
My stink pad doesn't stink because I don't use my finger for that.
What? Ew.
She brought it up, not me.
Ew. Yeah, I just don't like that. I don't like the track point at all. I've tried using it. I'm like, uh. I know, Gleamy, it is TMI. It
Hey,
is.
you gotta do on a few.
Okay, I'll end my stream. But yeah, so I'm curious to see how Apple stock is. If it goes down, what's the price right now since I've been streaming? Oh my goodness, look at this. I gotta get a new battery. Oh, yeah, so it's like 123 right now. If you guys know, I put in my old battery back in, and then 123.18. Even if it goes down to like 115, 110, let's just say, right, worst case scenario, I'm not too worried about it. I know Apple's gonna bounce back. Once this situation resolves itself and people have, let's say, more discretionary spending and they go back college, in-person college, or actually, wait, I take that back. If they go back to college and they're, even if they have to do like distance learning of sorts, people are going to want to make sure that they have a computer that is works for them, that is, snappy. And I, if I had to think off the top of my head, even before, even when I was in college, like I would have never ever thought about getting a ThinkPad, 100%. I would have been like, oh, geez, ThinkPads, like, who the hell gets that? Like, that would be, yeah. Now, college campus bookstores, they heavily advertise MacBooks, Apple computers. People are carrying it around. It just seems to work. And even if it is overpriced, I think people are willing to pay a price premium to have something that works for them, that's light, that they it's not as if they buy, like, if you buy a ThinkPad and it breaks, like, you have to, what do you do? Can you bring it over to a store? No, I don't know if there's a Lenovo store anywhere that I can think off the top of my head. But if you have an Apple computer, you can even bring it to, like, let's see, Best Buy. You can bring it to all these repair stores. You can bring it to the Apple store. You can bring it to Geek Squad, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Best Buy and Geek Squad are the same, but you get what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of places that can take in an Apple product and fix it. Hey, what's a XMG laptop?
No idea.
You don't know?
Eric, I'm busy.
Okay, he's busy right now. XMG laptop. Okay, hold on. Let me see. One moment. Let me show this thing over here. Okay, let's look at this really quick. Ooh, this is cute. Jeez, 1,399. I might as well just get a MacBook. Oh no, my little battery. Oh, interesting. Gaming laptop? What kind of intensive gaming do I do though? I don't do any gaming. Unless you consider like Discord and YouTube gaming, which is not. Pretty cool though. Pretty cool. I wouldn't know where to bring it to. As an Apple user, I would not know, like, where would you bring this to get repaired? Just your regular PC place? Is that it? I think Dells are very durable, but because I'm not tech savvy, just like a lot of Apple users, there are more people like me out there in the world than people like to admit, especially the tech savvy people like to admit. I haven't had any bad experiences with Dell. I just prefer having a thinner computer with, Apple operating system on it. But I haven't used a Dell in like a number, like, The last time I've used a Dell computer was probably around 2011, you know, when I was in college. But I do know that a number of businesses, like, they do run Dell computers. When I used, when I was in Hawaii, the places that I worked in Hawaii, they had Dell computers. I didn't like it. It ran kind of slow. Maybe it was just, and I didn't have anything on those computers. They were just slow freaking computers. It seems like they were durable enough, yeah. But I didn't really care for them at all. For personal use, I would not get a Dell. You guys know, obviously what I would be getting. Ta-da! Uh-oh, Jolt's hinges broke on the last Dell. Yeah. Yeah, all I basically do on my computer is browse the internet, YouTube, and yeah, internet, YouTube, Discord. That's basically it. Yeah, basically it. That is it. Okay, you guys, I think he wants to do a video, so I will talk to you guys later. And I'm very curious to know how Apple stock is. Let's see, did this thing go up? I don't think I have to refresh it, but let's refresh it in case. Oh, nope, still over there. Look at this little guy. It's going up. Let's look at the 6 months. 1 year. Look at the 5 year. Man, look at that. If only I bought my... If only I bought it... if only I bought something back... When was I gonna buy my thing? I would have probably bought it around here. Oh well, oh well. You know, I can't go back in time, but I'm very curious to see how Apple stock is in the future. See ya!